Hello, everybody. College game day from Columbus, Ohio State, Penn State. Whoever wins gets the most prized division in all of football, the Big Ten East. And here now we discuss that, all the other great games this weekend. It's Will Stewart, co-host. Okay, we have the week of divisions.
Yep.
A week of champions, basically.
We give everything.
Because whoever wins most of these games up here, besides Georgia, Texas A&M, because they are in different divisions, but whoever wins these games up here, every single one of them except for Georgia, Texas A&M clinches their division or goes to their conference championship.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this is insane right here. This is like we're seeing the college football world shape out for the first time this season. This is huge. So we're just going to jump right in. Texas at Baylor. First of all, Texas being able to slide in the rankings. They have no. They were 19 last week. They dropped. They have 4 losses, and now they go into McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. What do you expect from Texas in this game?
I mean, they gotta be scared.
Okay, they
have to be nervous. I mean,
and Baylor's coming off an awful loss.
I mean,
Oklahoma, they were up 25
Baylor
points. Choked.
Baylor had it.
Yeah, they did.
Bag. I mean, but Oklahoma, they're very phenomenal. But anyway, Baylor, they lost by 3 points, wasn't it?
Yep.
3. I mean, that's very close. Now you have Texas. I mean, they shouldn't get that confident though. No, Texas, Sam Ellinger. I mean,
they can win.
He knows how to win.
They've beaten ranked teams this season, but their schedule's just Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, Oklahoma, LSU, Baylor, Kansas State.
That's hard.
But they beat Kansas State. I think they're not coming to this game with a lot of confidence. Yeah, they lost to Iowa State. But
we know that they can be really a good team.
Okay, yeah, we do.
Be pretty close.
Okay, so Baylor's favored by 5.5, and this is where the factor championship comes in. Whoever wins, it's not definite if Texas wins, but if Baylor wins, they automatically have a rematch with Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game.
That's going to be
if Texas wins, that's going to be really interesting. Because you have a 7-4 team, and Baylor would be 9-2.
9-2. Yep.
So Baylor would have the better record, but Texas would have the head-to-head win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so Will, between those two, if Texas does win this game, who do you see going to the conference championship?
I still see Baylor.
Okay.
I know Texas has played very phenomenal teams.
But they have the head-to-head win, though.
They do, but 7-4, I mean...
it's not a great enough conference championship.
I don't know, but I just feel like Baylor, 9-2, that sounds better.
Okay, so you've seen the scenario. You guys can comment below who do you think is going to win. Just hashtag Big 12 and then do it. Texas A&M taking on Georgia. I'll go favorite by 13.5. It's in Athens. Georgia coming off a big win versus Auburn, but how do you think they could underestimate Texas A&M? Texas A&M was so lying low. They weren't really.
They had no spirit.
They weren't really in here. They were 5-3, but now they're 7-3.
Yeah, they picked.
They have the second. They have tied for the third best record in the SEC West with Auburn. That's not bad. I mean, so
we haven't really heard of them.
We haven't. They've been super quiet, getting 7 wins. Yeah. But there are 3 losses: Alabama, Auburn, and what was their other one?
It was I just looked at it. It was Alabama, Auburn.
It was Alabama, Auburn, and someone else.
It wasn't LSU.
Clemson. Yep, Alabama, Auburn. Those aren't bad losses. Without a doubt. I mean, and with a healthy Tua. You lost to a healthy Tua. Yeah. I mean, obviously it wasn't close, but it's Alabama. So what do you expect? So this is a trap game for Georgia. They've lost at home before, and they lost to South Carolina, so we know they can lose to A&M.
No, yeah. I mean, this could be Georgia. They shouldn't be that confident.
Okay.
Kellen Mond, he's been.
He hasn't been awful.
He hasn't been awful. I mean,
he's been pretty good this season.
Kind of bad, but he's picking it up.
He's thrown for 2 400+ yard games this season.
It's very impressive.
Okay. So, trap game in Georgia. They've already lost at home this season.
Yep,
they're undefeated on the road. It's kind of a bad sign for them right now.
Yep.
I mean, I honestly think Jake Fromm performs in the big games.
Yeah, he does.
In the small games, not so much. For this game, South Carolina, he threw 3 interceptions to the same person.
And then last week,
he was great. He was great. Exactly.
Play, yeah.
And then the DeAndre Swift at 100 yards, but he shows up only when he wants to. Exactly. The Georgia team is super inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean,
if they don't show up in this game,
then
it can be trouble for them. So we'll get to that game picks later. But I just want to say Georgia's number 4. First of all, do you agree with that?
I do.
Okay. But what is better in your opinion? A loss to LSU at home or a loss to South Carolina at home?
What is better?
Yeah.
What do you mean by
what is a better loss? Like
LSU.
Okay, exactly. But why did they Why do you think they put Bama at 5 instead of 4?
That's tough. Bama was 1 loss, right?
Yes.
Yes, LSU lost.
Yeah. Was it because of Tua's injury? Was that a factor in this?
I mean, yeah, but why?
Let me ask you again.
It's tough.
What is a better loss? South Carolina at home or Auburn in a neutral game? Auburn in a neutral game, am I right?
Yeah.
So why is Oregon not up there? Yeah. What is better? South Carolina at home or USC on the road? Yeah, SC on the road. So why is Utah not on exactly? Are you seeing what I'm saying right now?
Oregon,
Alabama, Oregon, Utah could all be in that spot.
Yes.
And we'll see Oregon, Utah, both in the Pac-12 championship game when those two collide. They've already clinched both their divisions, so we know we're going to see them. Obviously. But whoever wins that could get a spot in the playoff. But we'll discuss that later. The other thing I wanted to discuss with you, Will, is that Georgia, first of all, they're allowing 267 yards per game. That's 6th in the FBS. They're allowing 75 rushing yards a game. That's 3rd in all of college football, behind Utah and San Diego State.
They're allowing?
Okay. Yeah. And they're allowing 10.5 points per game. That's 2nd in college football. So their defense shows up.
Yeah.
But most of those were the points per game, great.
Yeah.
But you didn't see them in the top 15 in pass yards allowed per game.
That could be a problem.
So, and you have Kellen Mond. You're facing Kellen Mond. So
we know he can show up.
Yeah, exactly.
We know he can go off.
Okay, so exactly. That's what I'm trying to say here is, Georgia, we're just going to say to you, don't sleep.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on this.
Better show up.
Okay, you got another clincher. SMU at Navy. Navy's favored by 3.5.
Is it in Navy?
It is in Navy. It is in Annapolis and Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So first of all, Navy is averaging 359 rushing yards per game.
Wait, say that again?
354 rushing yards a game.
A game?
A game, Will. Because they pass the ball 5 times a game on average. But when they do complete the ball, they're averaging 19.5 yards a catch.
That's 20 yards.
Pretty much 20 yards a catch.
I mean,
and SMU, their defense sucks.
It sucks.
425 total yards of offense a game. They're allowing that. That's 100. That's 113th in the FBS.
In the rank.
There are 168 teams. That's awful.
That's terrible.
That's awful. So you look at this game. Navy is favored by 3.5, and why wouldn't you? When we just stacked up the stats there,
obviously,
it's looking like Navy's favored, but Shane Buechele has still been phenomenal. He still has been phenomenal, and I think SMU, they are 25th, so they are just sneaking in at 25.
Barely.
Track game again.
Yep.
So the division game this helps decide the AAC West, the American Athletic West. If SMU wins, okay, so it's really complicated here. Yeah. This is super amazingly complicated. Cincinnati's just sitting over there like, UCF loses this week, we're in. Yeah, we are in the championship. Yeah. Okay? But this whole thing, Memphis is playing South Florida. Memphis loses and SMU wins. They will have to have like a play-in game to see who gets into it. Okay. Yeah. But it'd be Memphis because they had the head-to-head win.
Yeah, because they'd be SMU.
If Navy wins, they have 2 losses. SMU would also have 2 losses, so they'd be out. And we'd have to wait for the Navy-Memphis game to see who gets into the championship.
Yep.
So this is all very, very complicated. If Memphis loses and SMU wins, SMU's automatically in. Yep. But if Memphis loses and Navy wins, then you have 3 2-loss teams. I mean,
what do you do?
What are you supposed to do?
What do you do? Yeah.
So this is if Navy wins and Memphis loses, we're gonna be looking at like the literal meaning of chaos in the AAC West.
Yeah. I mean, that would be phenomenal.
Okay. So first of all, SMU, they are ridiculous on offense. 522 total yards of offense a game.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
And passing, they're 328.
What are they rushing?
522 minus 328. That's 194 yards rushing.
Pretty much 200 yards a game.
Which it isn't awful, but the 15th best team in the country is averaging 215.5. So they're down there. They're down compared to what their offense is. They are down there. Like Ole Miss is above them, Georgia State's above them, Louisiana's above them. All the Army teams are above them because, don't know what's going on over there, guys. But okay. But anyway, SMU also, they do not. They are averaging 45.1 points per game.
45?
45.1 points per game. That's 6th in the country.
Cool.
So that's a lot. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
So, SMU, I mean, we're just going to see chaos. So, Navy's favored, obviously. So, SMU's actually calling in this game as the underdog. This is the second time they've done it all season. And the first time they did it, they lost. Not big time.
They fought, but they lost.
So, see another loss? Just based on the stats. Don't actually pick the game. Just based on the stats that we're seeing in this game.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, that defense is
not good. Well, they are not good.
That could affect them.
Okay. Now we got the real division stuff coming in. Like, it's not complicated. Pitt at Virginia Tech, whoever wins this game, they got the ACC Coastal. Of course, they head to their doom because they go to face Clemson in the championship game, so good luck with that. But still, Pitt, Virginia Tech, these guys are familiar with Clemson because in the last 2 years, 2 years ago, Virginia Tech faced Clemson.
Yep.
Last year, Pitt faced Clemson. Yep. So they're familiar with this situation before. This is Bud Foster's last season at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's favored by 4.5. So, Virginia Tech, nice 7-3 record. Like, they are looking good.
Yeah. He's in Pitt 7-3.
Very, 6-4, I want to say. ACC standings football. Okay, so we got. It is 7-3.
They are 7-3, so.
But Virginia, okay, this is where it goes. Virginia is sitting above those two. They're 7-3, but they're 5-2 in the division. These two are both 4-2 in the division.
Yeah.
So, no more complications. Pitt wins this game. They have the head-to-head win against Virginia. So they would just, they're in the championship. But if Virginia Tech wins, we'd have to wait for the rivalry game on the last week of football. Whoever wins that game would get in, which would be the first time in a while that the winner of the Virginia Tech Virginia games would have gone to the ACC championship. So, very complicated again, but if Pitt wins, congratulations, Pat Narduzzi, because you're in a championship game. For the second year in a row, it's the first time in Pitt history since Dan Marino that's happened. All right. Game day game of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Penn State at Ohio State. Ohio State's got the favoring by 17.5.
Wow.
That's a lot. That is a lot of points.
That's a lot.
So, what does Penn State have to do? They're trying to contain Justin Fields.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say that. Stop the offense.
You have, Ohio State, 541 yards a game, Will. Total offense, 4th in the FBS. But the rushing is the key.
Yeah.
287 yards rushing between Fields, Dobbins mostly. Mostly. And Teague. The third. So, I don't know, but Ohio State, Penn State, you better not let Ohio State run all over your butt.
Yeah, and if they get going, then
you're done. You're screwed. You're screwed. Because if Ohio State scores in the first quarter of the season, which they've done every single time this season, by the way, they're 11-0, so they're 11-0 every time they've scored in the first quarter.
Yeah.
You don't allow that to happen, we could see a shakeup.
Yep.
But, say Minnesota. Okay, we're looking at a little shakeup here. Ohio State loses to Penn State, but then Penn State gets upset in the last game of the season. And so that propels Ohio State into the Big Ten Championship. That's a one-loss team versus a one-loss team. Minnesota lost to Iowa. Not a bad loss. Ohio State lost to Penn State. Again, not a bad loss.
Not at all.
So if Minnesota won, would they be in the playoff?
What do you mean if they won?
If they won the Big Ten Championship as Ohio State, but they had that one loss to Iowa, would they be in the college football playoff?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
you have Utah and Oregon in there.
Yeah.
So you say LSU, say they were on the table, they beat Georgia in the SEC Championship, and they're 1. Clemson runs the table. 2. 3 would probably be the Pac-12 champion. If
Oregon or Utah.
Because it probably would not be the Big 12 champion based on the chaos that's happening over there right now. And then it would be either Minnesota or Ohio State. If Ohio State won, I think they'd be in. Because a loss to Penn State is better than a loss to Iowa. Of course, Minnesota was on the road.
Yeah, in Iowa. That's
a tough place to play in Canada.
That's tough, yeah.
And Ohio State was in Columbus at home, hosting Penn State. So, which is the worst loss?
I'm still going to go with Iowa.
Okay.
Minnesota losing Iowa.
Okay.
Penn State's just, I think they're a better team.
Okay. So, then if Minnesota won, you do not think they'd be in?
No.
So, which probably means Big 12 champion would take their place. If Ohio State won, I do think they'd be in. Because one loss, let's just say it was close, one loss in a close game to Penn State is not a bad loss.
Especially if it's like 3 points.
Exactly.
Game-winning field goal.
Exactly.
That is
exactly.
This good.
It's a good point. All right, so Penn State, I think they have to be able to match the offense of Ohio State, which is hard to do.
That's very tough, but
because Ohio State has the best margin in the first 10 games of points they score per game and points they allow per game. They're scoring 51, which is first. 51 and a half. 4 points above LSU. And it's ridiculous, guys. They're allowing 216 yards per game. That's first. Another defensive position where they're first. Passing yards a game, they're allowing 126.
Wow.
And they're allowing 90 rushing yards. But the big thing here is, I talked about the point differential. 51 minus 9, they're outscoring means they're outscoring their opponents by 42 points per game. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So Penn State,
good luck.
But Penn State, 7th best defense in the nation. 13.5 points per game. But their offense is great. I mean, their offense isn't in the top anything, but their offense is great.
Yeah, pretty good.
So what do you think here? What do you think? Penn State, if they will be a defensive game, will it be a defensive game or an offensive battle?
I think it's going to be an offensive
shootout.
I do. I mean, Ohio State offense is just so good.
Okay.
I don't know how, like, if they were to score 14 points, that'd be great for Penn State.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
Guys that are scoring, what was it? 51 points a game. You're holding 14. That's good.
But I just don't see that. I don't think
who does though? They're favored by 17.5.
Yeah.
Who does see that happening? Exactly. So. I think we might see a close game. I don't know. Well, I just want to go back to Pitt, Virginia Tech, because I just remembered something. Pitt is allowing 91 rushing yards a game, and Virginia Tech relies heavily on the run.
Yes, they do.
Factors, Pitt, maybe, I don't know, but we'll pick. We'll pick later. This is a really hard game to choose from. Will, the most surprising game last week, please. A lot of candidates this last week was very surprising.
Most surprising game, I said Minnesota versus Iowa.
Really? So you thought Minnesota was going to win?
I did.
Really did.
I mean, coming off a great win versus Penn State.
They had momentum, yeah.
I thought they would ride that confidence.
But I mean, okay, I kind of disagree there because they would have been completely tired out from that.
Yes.
They would have been completely tired out from that. I mean, that is like a tough. They're playing Penn State, for God's sakes, and they celebrated after. So, I disagree, but you saw Minnesota versus Iowa. I'm going Oklahoma Baylor. For 2 reasons. First of all, the lead that Baylor jumped out to was insane.
Yeah.
That was super surprising. I'm like, oh my God, Baylor's going to destroy them and win this game. I'm like, that's amazing. Oklahoma comes back. That's the second part. They didn't cover the spread, but when you come back by 25, that's better than covering the spread. So I think Baylor, Oklahoma, was surprising for 2 reasons. And I mean, you know the reasons why. Who should make the jump from unranked to top 25?
It's in Indiana.
You're sticking with them. You're sticking with them all day.
They lost last week.
Okay.
34-27.
That was against Penn State, though.
But I mean, it's not a bad loss.
It's Penn State, 27-34.
One score. They only lost by 1 score. I mean, they're 7-3.
7-4.
7-4.
No, 7-3. Yes, 7-3. Yes, sir.
I mean, 26 right now. I just checked.
20. So they are 1 spot out.
26 or 27.
They're 1 spot out.
It's like the 3rd straight week I've said I think they should be in. They deserve it all the way.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm gonna go with the Texas A&M Aggies. They're 7-3.
No, they're in.
They are. No, they're in. They're not in the college football playoff rankings. That's the rankings we're basing this on.
Okay.
So.
Oh, we are. All right.
Yeah. But Indiana's not ranked in college football playoff rankings either. So, I think that A&M should be ranked. They're a really good team. A lot of talent. Kellen Mond, AJ Wilson, a true freshman running back that can really get going. And they're 7-3. No one's giving them any respect because you have 6-4 Iowa State in there and 7-4 Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Or USC, as people call them. So I say A&M should be in over all those teams. They don't play as tough a schedule as USC or Iowa State does. Yeah. They play more. They a tougher schedule. They have to play LSU. They have to play Bama. They have to play Clemson. They have to play Georgia. Auburn. They have a really tough schedule. So that's why I'm going with A&M. Will, who should drop from the rankings, please?
It's Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
Reason? If you look at their opponents, they haven't played anyone.
Okay.
They really haven't. I'm going to pull up their opponents. They haven't played anyone that good. I think they played 2 teams that were within top 25.
Okay.
2 or 3, and they lost. And they lost both.
Okay. So those are their 3 losses. Yeah. Those are 2 of their 3 losses. And so,
their offense is phenomenal. Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Tyler Wallace. Well, he's out right now.
Yes.
But Spencer Sanders, their quarterback. Their defense is good.
But
Okay. So you got Oklahoma State. Just let me tell me when you got your schedule. So what ranked teams have they beaten? Well,
they've beaten Kansas State, Iowa State.
That's it. And they've played ranked teams such as Texas,
Baylor.
They
lost to Texas Tech.
Okay, I completely agree with you.
They almost lost to Oklahoma. They almost lost to. I'm sorry, no.
Okay. You should drop from the rankings. That's really tough for me. I want to go with Iowa State because they have 4 losses, but they have really good wins, and all their losses are pretty good. They all have 1 point to Oklahoma. It's not a really good loss. Is there such thing as a good loss? I'm going to go with SC. So you go with USC. They didn't get a big win last week. And they remember when they lost to Oregon?
Oh yeah.
That was just 2 weeks ago. That was just 2 weeks ago. And now you're putting them in the rankings.
Yeah. Now you're putting them in. Where are they sitting at?
Oh, they're sitting at 23, my friend. Okay. So I do not think they should be in there at all. They just haven't played tough enough of the schedule. They've beaten Utah. Yes. That's not going to get you in the rankings.
That's one game.
That's not going to get you in the rankings. One game against a good team, but you were hosting them at home. It's a tough place to play in the Coliseum. So I don't really think they should be there. Super Dogs. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I got Boston College taking on Notre Dame. I see a shootout, but Boston College is averaging 282 yards on the ground with A.J. Dillon and their dual threat quarterback Anthony Brown. Both of those guys are insane.
Yeah.
I think Brown is 3rd in rush yards by a quarterback, just behind Hurts and Fields. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So I got BC. Notre Dame's favored by, I think, 16 or 17. I think BC covers the spread. I do not think they win the game there. Well,
got Temple versus UC.
Okay.
Reason UC's been, if you look at their last 3 games, they've been
East Carolina. They had to have a game-winning field goal versus East Carolina and South Florida.
And they had a game-winning field goal versus USF.
Yeah,
that's 2 in a row. Temple's 7-3.
Good team, good defense.
They have good wins. I wouldn't say amazing wins, but they have some quality wins.
Okay.
I think they lost to Maryland and.
No, they didn't lose to Maryland. They beat Maryland when they were ranked.
I forget who they've lost to, but this is a trap game.
Okay, trap game for UC. And UC dropped because they were playing so bad. In the rankings. That's not good. All right, so you got Super Dog Saturday selections. Big time. This is Champ Week. This is Champ Week 0.5, not 2.0, 0.5 because we don't really know that. Texas Baylor. Well,
it's very tough. I'm gonna go with Baylor.
Okay.
Baylor, just barely.
Okay.
Just barely. I'm gonna go. It's tough. If Texas, if their offense can start off strong, maybe score 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, then Texas will probably win. But I'm gonna go with Baylor.
Okay.
I think they're mad and they just want to win.
I'm gonna go with Baylor as well because they need this to get back in the Big 12 race. I lost to Oklahoma being up by 20. I lost to Oklahoma by 3 points. You look at that score and you're like, oh, that's not that bad. Consider they were up by 25 points, and they didn't score for the rest of the game after that. So I do think Baylor will win this game. It will be close, as Will said. I think Ellinger will have a great game.
Yep.
But the guy that really needs to have a good game for Texas is Colin Johnson. I said it last week, and he didn't. I said it last week, and he didn't. So I think he'll have a good game. But Charlie Brewer, he's the first person ever to have 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns in the first half. He did that against Oklahoma. They still lost, but still, he did that against Oklahoma, and I think he'll probably do the same thing. Again, at home, big crowd at McLean, so they need revenge. Baylor wins. Texas A&M, Georgia.
I got Georgia.
Dogs, yep.
I don't see Texas A&M upsetting them.
Okay.
I mean, Mon will have a decent game, maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns, but you're in Georgia. I don't see it.
I want to pick A&M, but I do think it will be Georgia. It will be close, though, because this is a trap game. In all definition of a trap game, this is a trap game. So I do think Georgia will pull it out. Closer than the experts think. That'll be enough. This will be basically a win for Texas A&M. SMU Navy.
I have Navy on my sheet, but now after looking at these,
all the
stats, it's hard. I mean, it's so hard. I'm still going with Navy.
Okay.
I mean, I think the SMU defense is god awful. They're terrible.
Yeah, they are terrible.
But that offense is
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So you can go either way. I'm gonna go with Navy. Where they favored by 3 or 5.
3.5. 3.5. Okay. I'm gonna go with SMU big here because if Navy can't run the ball, what are they supposed to do? Well, SMU will plan for Navy to run the ball. They just run options back and forth. It's literally all they do. And at SMU, their defense is awful, like you said, but they'll be able to stop that. I think they have 50 points, and the Navy probably only has like 30 or 35. Like I don't see Navy even coming close to SMU in this game. Pitt, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Okay.
Why? I mean, was it 2 weeks ago they lost? Was it 2 weeks ago they barely lost Notre Dame?
3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
3. I mean, did they win last week?
They did win last week.
7-3. I feel like they're an overall better team. Pitt hasn't really been doing anything lately. They're a good team, but I mean, they don't have that quality wins. They did beat UCF.
Okay, yeah. That's a quality win.
That's a quality win. That is a quality win, but I mean, that's one.
I'm taking Pitt. I'm taking Pitt this game because if you look at the stats, they're allowing 91 rush yards a game. Pretty much, I think 75% of VT's playbook is rush. When they have to pass, they can, and they do. They have really good receivers, but they just don't do it that often. And I think that's what's going to hurt them in this game. I think Pitt will contain the rush. Pat Narduzzi used to be the defensive coordinator at Michigan State when their defense was the best in the country. If you remember that. A couple of years ago with Tony Lippert and all those guys. His defense was ridiculous. And I think he'll show why he did that and why he moved to Pitt because he'll show their defense almost like that today. Getting the game of the week. We got Penn State, Ohio State, Will.
Ohio State.
All that. Just like that. Just like that.
And I don't. It'll be close, but it won't be like 3 points. I think it'll be 14. But won by 14. Again, I don't see Penn State doing it. Okay. Going into Ohio State,
going into Columbus. The last time Penn State went into Ohio State, Penn State went up by, I think it was 21-3.
Yeah, it was 21-3. I'll never watch
21-3. And Saquon Barkley took the first kick back to the house last time. So, if people think this game is not going to be close, screw you. Every time that Penn State's come into this game is in an underdog. In the last 3 years, they've either covered the spread, or they've not let Ohio State cover the spread, or they've won. Okay? Got that in your brain now? Penn State win? No, I can't do that. I want to say Penn State wins, but I just can't. After talking all that hype, I still got the Buckeyes. But I think like 42-38. Close. Very close. Closer than the experts think. Well, appreciate you being on before you go. Big upset this week. Here you go.
Can it be on the board?
It can be on the board. College football games this week.
Does it have to be a game that I picked, or can I just say it potentially?
You can just say it potentially.
I'm gonna go Texas A&M over Georgia.
Okay.
If Kellen Mond can get going, then I think. If Kellen Mond can get going, then I think.
Okay.
Very close.
Biggest upset this week. I'm gonna go with West Virginia. They're playing Oklahoma State. And you said Oklahoma State dropping from the rankings, and this is what gets them to drop from the rankings. I think West Virginia's offense with Austin Kendall will probably explode this game. I think WVU taking it home. Will, appreciate you being on, man. Yeah, anytime. And so you guys, we couldn't do the video last week. Sorry about that, but we got back with an even better one this week. No guests. We promise we will have guests next week. Hopefully, either Graham Curio or Ian Richards back from last week. Have a good one.